I spent around $20 and these are the things that I found.
Welcome to Ridgehaven Homestead. From the mountains of Upper East Tennessee, we share snippets of our off-grid life, cabin build, and garden blessings. Pour yourself a cup of tea, sit back, and take a peek into our off-grid home and family.
Hi, welcome back to Ridgehaven Homestead. It's Lori, and today we're talking about prepping beyond the pantry with items that we can find at the Dollar Tree. Now, these things can go into our pantry. That's most likely where they're going to be going in our house because the pantry is kind of where we store our stuff. But as we think about prepping, I'm not necessarily talking about doomsday prepping, but I'm talking about if the power goes out, if we are in a pinch where somebody is out of work, what kind of things are we going to want just kind of for backup? And then they're just everyday things that we would use around the house that we might like to find at a bargain price. And so with that in mind, I want to show you what I found at the Dollar Tree. I spent around $20 and these are the things that I found. Okay, we're starting with super basic, and that is sponges. These are the Nail Guard sponges. They have the scrubby surface on the back, but they're pretty thick. And so I like to actually use these for washing dishes. And there come 6 in the pack, so you can use 1 and you can store 5, and they last for quite a long time. And it's not a bad thing to have this tucked away in the back of your pantry or in the back of your cleaning closet, because they can be used in the shower, they can be used to clean lots of surfaces, and yeah, they're really super handy to have. And so for $1.25 for 6 of them, it's a pretty good deal. Okay, another thing that we don't necessarily think of all this as prepping stuff, it's just handy stuff to have around the house that is a pretty good deal at the dollar store. Okay, so for cleaning, I did grab this. This is 64 ounces, and I just lost the lid. 64 ounces of cleaning vinegar. And I don't really know what makes it cleaning vinegar. I don't know the percentage of vinegar that it says. I don't know that it says. So it says it's for cleaning, and I assume that because it's for cleaning, it's not maybe as pure as something that you would use for your cooking. No problem. Okay, and then I also got a small thing of bleach, which is also 64 ounces. And that's a pretty decent deal for $1.25. There's always uses for bleach for cleaning and for sanitizing. You can keep the bleach for sanitizing water, just a few drops per gallon, and this will last you a good long time. So it's always good to have bleach on hand for those kind of things, sanitizing containers, cleaning out, stuff like that, wiping things down. Okay, one thing that everybody needs, and if they're doing any kind of preparation for any reason, and that is matches. So I ended up getting 2 kinds of matches. This is a 300 match box, and this is, I don't know how many are in here, 32 per box, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Oh, so this is actually, is that true? 32 per box, and there's 10. So this is actually a better deal than this. What in the world? Okay, now I know. Next time I'll buy the little boxes. And the reason I like the little boxes is because if they happen to get wet, if anything happens to them, then you've only wasted a few and not all these big ones. Okay, but the difference is these are the large ones and these are the little ones. And so we actually need matches for lots of things. We use a wood stove, so we don't usually use matches for that. Usually we use the lighters, but if we ran out of lighter fluid, we would need matches, and we would need them in abundance, because even though I'm a pathfinder, it takes me more than 1 match to start a fire. So I like to keep these in the kitchen in a pinch so I can light my burners. And the big ones are actually better, they're more sturdy. But having a variety, and then you can actually put these in Ziploc bags, keep a pack in your car, keep them in a backpack. It's really handy to have matches. In fact, in every survival situation, you really should have matches. And then I've heard if you're even smarter, you can dip these in like paraffin, and that makes them waterproof, and then you can strike them and it strikes the wax off and you can still use a match. we gotta be wise. Matches. Okay, another thing that I got that is super handy, and actually I got two different kinds, kind of in the same vein as the matches, is a lighter. They have these 1 pack for $1.25, and now these are not as substantial as the like Bic ones that I get at Walmart, but they're also not as expensive. I want to say that those are like $7 or so for 2, and this is like $1.25. So it's not refillable, and you'll have to just, you know, use it, and then it'll be done. But I like the lighters for candles. They're not messy. Lots of reasons that I like those. Okay, and I also got this other small lighter. Now, at some point I had heard that this might be refillable, but I don't think it is. This is just a different version of a lighter. Basically, it's almost the same. So just different applications if you want one that's long or if you want one that's short. And they actually did have the bendy one, but just like this, only the bendy one. I don't like those for some reason. I'm not sure why, I just never have. Anyway, I left those there. Okay, so this is not necessarily prepping, and it's just stocking up on basic things. Toothpaste, I got 2 different kinds of toothpaste, and it's a pretty big tube for $1.25. It's way better than Walmart, I think. And then I tried this natural one. This is Brush Buddies Naturally Derived Toothpaste, anti-plaque and whitening, and it's sweetener-free, paraben-free, fluoride-free, peppermint. And so this might be the one that Adam said he tried, and he said it basically didn't taste like anything. I don't know. But I'm going to give it a try because I really prefer to use the natural toothpaste if I can.
Just a note on the toothpaste. My husband tried it and he liked it better than the kind we were using, so that's a win.
Adam asked me to get mouthwash. I did get one, and it's a small one, and it's natural. I'm not sure what makes it natural, but it's a small for $1.25, and it's a good thing to keep on hand with toothbrushes. And speaking of toothbrushes, I did get a pack of 2 toothbrushes. These are charcoal infused. I have not tried the charcoal infused, but I know that charcoal is supposed to be good for freshening your breath, whitening your teeth. And so I thought, hey, I'll get 2 for $1.25, and we'll keep them as a backup. I like to keep a few around, and usually I actually get a pack of 6 and keep it as a backup. So the next time I'll probably do that, but I just wanted to try these this time. Okay, super handy thing to have around in an emergency situation and every day. I think every home needs a pack of this. And this is like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 4-pack of super glue, and it's tiny little packages. But this is my experience with super glue. It's almost like you open it one time and that is your one shot. And so I have come to believe that getting these little bitty ones, it almost is smarter. I can almost, even when I get the ones that are like multi-use, the lid almost always sticks to the container. And so if you've gotten just a little bitty one, you don't feel too bad about throwing it away if it sticks. And super glue can be used for so many things. You know, they actually made super glue actually to close wounds. So there's lots of applications for super glue. Okay, I grabbed a pack of batteries, and this is 8 batteries, AA batteries. That can be used for so many things. Flashlights, lanterns. I have a little lantern that takes these batteries, and so I don't want to store them in it, but I will store them with it. And that way, if we have no power, or if we just want to be romantic or something, we can have the light of lanterns. I have candles that take AA batteries, and like everything takes batteries. And I have no idea how long these $1.25 batteries are gonna last. Maybe not that long, but let's just look at it this way. If you had an emergency and you had the batteries and you had the flashlight, even if you only use them during that emergency, you've gotten your money's worth. And also, sometimes the expensive batteries we put in things and then we store them and we forget about them, and the batteries end up corroding, and that like ruins the flashlight anyway, so that's money lost. We don't want to do that. Okay, I got a few more things. I want to tell you one thing I wanted to get and I didn't get. I hemmed and hawed and I just didn't grab it, and now I'm wishing I had. And that they had a little multi-size pack of safety pins. Now I have a bag of safety pins that I keep with my sewing stuff, and I have about 3 sizes in here. Well, I noticed that the sizes of safety pins at the Dollar Tree were smaller, and a really small, a medium, and a slightly bigger. None of them were really big, and they probably weren't that heavy duty, but sometimes you need like a little bitty safety pin, and so I think it would be definitely worth it to get those the next time I go, and they were in the checkout aisle, so I will grab them the next time. Something that you may not really think of as for prepping or whatever, this is more of a kitchen item, but it is pretty handy. And that's parchment paper, and this, it's only 20 square feet, so at $1.25. It's just one of those things that sometimes you need it and you wish you had it, and you wish, like I have wished that I didn't have to buy a giant one because I don't like to store it. I just don't use it that often. And so having a little one in my pantry, so like if I want to bake cookies or something, I can do that. And then if it turns out that I'm really going to be using it a lot, I'll get a big one. Okay, I have two more items, and one of the items is this also, I got one for my first aid kit that I'm working on stocking. And this is the self-adhesive wrap. Basically, it's like an ace bandage that is made of like corrugated plastic. It sounds really weird, but if you haven't experienced these, they're really great. They're stretchy and they can conform, so if you're needing to hold something on, like your arm or your leg, it sticks to itself, and so you don't need those little metal things. It's really handy. And so these, I think I'm going to get more of. I don't think you could ever have too many of these, because when you need them, you really need them. And you can just like rip them into the size that you need. Okay, the last thing that I'm showing you is something that I actually used, that I bought to get in my first aid kit as well. But then I also bought some just for general use, and that is this electrolyte mix. This is made by Guru Nanda, and it's Hydromate. It is 2 sticks of electrolyte solution, and I was comparing the ingredients to Liquid IV, which we keep on hand all the time. Well, the ingredients are exactly the same. The amount of vitamins and the percentages and everything is exactly the same. And so we're going to be testing these to see if the flavor is the same. So this is good for people who are working outside when they sweat a lot. It replenishes electrolytes, but it's also really good. I like to keep electrolyte solution in my shelf or in my first aid kit or just anywhere for if anyone is sick. When we are sick, a lot of times like you just don't feel good, and so you're not eating, and so you can get dehydrated. If you can drink, you can mix up the electrolyte solution, and that can give you like your potassium and your sodium. And it's especially crucial if you are like vomiting and having diarrhea. You need to replace the electrolytes that you've lost. And so it used to be you just had to buy like Pedialyte or the ones like Gatorade or something, and there's a place for those as well to have them pre-mixed. But if you have pure water, you can keep these, and then you don't have to like worry about them spilling. You can just mix it up on demand, and you don't have to mix the whole thing. You can mix a little bit or make it less strong or more strong, depending on what your needs are. Just as a bonus, I found this one thing at the Dollar Tree, and I didn't really want to categorize it with prepping or, you know, anything that we would be preparing, but it was super handy and I wanted to show it to you anyway. And that is this little cupcake carrier. It holds 9 cupcakes, and for some reason, it just really clicked with me that this would be really handy. It doesn't feel really flimsy. And so I'm adding that to my preparation for the pantry. It holds, like I said, it holds 9. And sometimes when I make muffins, or rarely when I make cupcakes, I need a place to store them. I usually put them on a plate. And so this is just one thing that is going to make it a lot easier because it's domed and they won't get squished. And it's out of the reach of the cats. And so for $1.25, you can't beat it. And I didn't really know if that was something that was a preparation thing, but I thought I would pass it along to you in case you need something like that. So that is my Dollar Tree prepping haul this week. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the advice that I have learned recently is if you're trying to kind of build up your supplies for an emergency, take a little bit every week and just kind of do a little bit more often. Don't try to, I mean, you can go and spend hundreds of dollars, but it's easy to miss small things, and it's easy to like not be able to think of all the things that you're going to need if you just go in one fell swoop. But if we just keep at it, doing a little bit, adding just a little bit to our budget, then it's not going to feel so painful, and at the same time we are going to be adding and finding that we are building up our supplies, and then in an emergency we will have them, or if we're sick we'll have the supplies and we won't have to go scrambling around, because that's the whole idea of having a little bit of preparedness, is that so we're not scrambling around during an emergency. And I've really had it on my mind to not be preppers, but just to do prudent things, to have things rather than waiting till later. Go ahead and start getting the things now and just slowly putting them aside. And there's no preparation that is going to ensure that you're prepared for everything. We just have to realize that. And that was made poignantly clear in this last hurricane. It didn't matter what you might have had stored. It was going to be, if you were in the line of flooding, it was going to all be destroyed anyway. So you can't put your faith in the things that you're buying. You can't put your faith in your medicines and in your cleaners and your food that you may be putting on your shelf. At the same time, we are called to provide for our families and do what we can to just be wise. And so I am trying to think of things that we can get that are wise. And if they all get washed away, then they all get washed away. We wouldn't have them anyway. So we'll do the best we can with the amount of money that we have, and try to be consistently adding to our supplies, and then we'll be able to be a little bit more at peace, and be able to be a little bit more helpful should a crisis arise. So that is my supply. Tell me what you found at the Dollar Tree that I need to check out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Be safe, be well, have a great day.